Every Pokemon card collector has their favourite type of card. Some people collect SIRs, some people collect reverse hollows, some people master set exclusively one type of Pokemon. People are starting to collect Pokemon Illustrator cards, filling their binder with all of the artist's cards. As I said previously, people are starting doing that with Yukamori, who exclusively makes Pokemon out of clay. But another artist who does things unconventionally in the Pokemon TCG is Asako Ito, who exclusively crochets with Pokemon. And today we're going to have a look at that. Asako Ito is a Pokemon illustrator artist who crochets her Pokemon. She's been doing this since 2017 during the Sun and Moon era, her first crochet Pokemon being Poliwag. A goated first Pokemon, can I just say. She's a self-taught knitter. She learnt in university where she majored in oil painting. Fun fact, the reason she learnt to knit was because she watched the Mr. Bean show and she wanted to crochet with little teddy, which absolutely incredibly goated. Love the show, love Mr. Bean, and I love the teddy. I actually have so many weird memories, like vivid memories of watching that show growing up. Like, we loved the movies as well, like. And also, I feel like as a kid you don't realise he was an alien. Like, you always think, oh, why is he acting weird? But, like, dead, bro, it's just literally an alien. So far, in the actual Pokemon TCG, she's illustrated 36 cards, the most recent one being from Black Bolt. And she's actually illustrated 7 in Pocket Pokemon TCG. I believe she's done 2 SIR's cards, which not nearly enough. I think she should be given way more, just like Yukamori. And I think Yukamori and Asako Ito show us that the cards don't have to be flash and big and bold to be incredible. Like, her art, like the way she crochets, it's simple but it's effective. The backgrounds are all made of felt, everything is handmade, and to me, I'm not going to bash actual artists because obviously I don't draw, but I feel like she puts way more effort and way more love into most cards ever drawn in the Pokemon TCG, and hopefully we can see more big cards from her. I feel like Pokemon do not give her room to flourish, or maybe she doesn't want to, but all I know is, once again, like Yukamori, I would love to get my hands on the physical crocheted item because I bet it's adorable. If she made a shop, it'd probably be expensive, but she deserves it, and I would pay $1,000. Not like Tiny Catastrophe. Jeez Louise, he is a crazy man. I've always wondered how you become a Pokemon illustrator. Like, is it Japanese only? Because you never really see, like, overseas or Western or even, like, other Asian countries who illustrate Pokemon. I know there's competitions, but even then, I think they've only been held in Japan, so it'd be interesting to one day see if we can get some other illustrators out there. Alright, now let's do the fun part of the video. Let's actually look at her cards, show you how incredibly talented this person is. I know I shouldn't look at the big hitters first, but this Ordino card is one of my favourite. This is from Black Bolt. I mean, look at this. I can look at the background. Look at the felt. Okay, it's on a little bridge and the felt tree and the crocheted Ordino. I need this. I need this. Now. This is incredible. I've not pulled this card because I didn't open much Black Bolt. Because I kind of took a break from collecting Pokemon to save. Oh, boring. So I missed Black Bolt and White Flare, and that is my, to this day, biggest regret of my life. I wish I started to get back into it in Ascended Heroes, mid-set, mid-flip. I need this. You know what? This is perfect. Look at his little face. It's a pity. One day I'll have this card. Okay, like I said, I think this Wigglytuff is from Fusion Strike. Look at the face. It looks like he's just stumbled across something it shouldn't have. Little tough. And the background, oh my god. This is so good. She is such a talented artist. The way she's able to make the backgrounds, even though they're simple, they stand out in such a good way. A little grubbin man. Like, look, so this is what I mean. Like, simple background, but it's so effective. Grubbin looks tiny. I wonder how big these things are. Like, if they're actually big or they're quite small. Because I can't, like, I know cameras can be manipulated, but they didn't look too entirely big. So I do wonder if it's very small. This Electrode is from Team Up. And I used to open up a Team Up, so I know I have it somewhere in my house, but I can't find it, so I'm going to have to buy it. But look at this Giga Chad smirk. Like, you know, you've just told him a fact that's wrong and he's gonna correct you on your opinion. Or he's like, reminds me of like the face of like the PC principal friends who like, oh, I need complete consent before we do this act. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I need complete consent. Can you write it down, please, on this piece of paper? Like, you've just said something politically incorrect and he's about to correct you in front of a huz. That is what he looks like. Flipping Shelgon looks like a bowling ball. I love it. Look at the cave. He looks so angry. Like, I'm not evolved yet. Like, I need to get thrown off a cliff for me to evolve. That is mad though. Imagine like getting to flying but just jumping. Like that's I give it to him. Gibble. I think this is my favourite background. Look at the little felt cave. Incredible detailing. Like, I can't imagine how hard, like how difficult it must have been to get like to do the detailing and to make the little, what are these, torpedo, like it's like a plane, so like the plane wings. Altaria. This is such an incredible card, and it's quite cheap in the UK, so I would grab this now because I can only see it going up. Because the good thing about these people like Yukamori and Asako Ito is that their cards aren't too expensive. Because they really only make common cards, so it's not like they're not printed. Even though some of the cards are old, you can still pick them up for like between £2 and £5, especially Asako Ito, because they only started making cards during the Sun and Moon era, which is still technically modern, compared to Yukamori, who's been doing it since Neo Discovery. So a lot of our cards that are older are like £20 and upwards, but still relatively cheap master sets. But this Altaria, I take it back. She went all out on this background. Like, look at this bed, the pillows. It reminds me of like a kids cartoon in the UK. We used to have these shows where like you'd go to while you're sleeping, you'd decompress, and it would have like the window, the background, and no, this is another card I think I need into my collection. That, what set is this from? Crown Zenith. I opened a lot of Crown Zenith, and I didn't pull this card. Just learned you can spin it on this site. I love that. Look at him. Look. Oh, and I keep bringing up Yukamori, but Yukamori is my favourite illustrator. But once again, like Yukamori, you can tell these are already incredibly talented in what they did, because this is her first ever card from base set Sun and Moon, I believe. This is Poliwag, and there's not much of a difference between like now and her most recent card, like Ordino from Black Bolt. Like, she's definitely improved, but in the sense of like, I feel like the background, I think the biggest improvement is the background, because this background's good. I love the clouds, but even so, I feel like she's definitely improved, but she was certainly an expert in her craft when she started this. I've definitely got this Gumi card in my house. This is from Guardians Rising. Oh, I hate having to buy these cards because I used to look, these were my favourite type of cards growing up. I started collecting when I was 10. I didn't know what a master set was. I didn't even know what sleeves were. They just got put in the binder. They're all crumpled now. So this Gumi, I definitely have it, and he's so derpy looking. He looks like a hat, to be honest, in this. I'd wear Gumi. No, it's actually slimy, and I'm pretty sure it's toxic, so maybe I wouldn't wear him. Cherub, oh my god, I love this card. This card kind of looks like, we're going through like obviously this is way before Coach's bag, but Coach has these like, you buy these charms for £300, like the cherry charms, but if Asako Ito gave me this and said this is for your bag, I would give her all the children, my children, in exchange for this. Like, I am so glad that Dude Bros leave this set alone, because I know I talk about investing a lot when it comes to Pokemon, but that's just because I don't myself invest in Pokemon. I think it's interesting how Pokemon has become an investment form, which is why I talk about it, because I like investing in general, like not in Pokemon, but like stocks and shares and all that. I find that interesting, and I like Pokemon. So when I see how Pokemon has become, I find it really like an interesting topic to talk about, because I'm pretty sure the Pokemon industry has crossed over into the billions a couple months ago. Like, I think it was somewhat, if you collected in Pokemon cards, you're better off investing in Pokemon cards than in certain stocks that were popular. I think it was like the stocks and shares. And I think that's a really interesting concept, because this is such an unconventional way to invest, because I know people invest gold and they do like, but I know people have always invested in basketball cards and stuff, but Pokemon, like especially in the modern era, like these cards with like are becoming more expensive than gold and silver right off the bat. Even older cards are, look at the Lovebirds from Tag Team. They are a team up even. They are so, it's like 19 grand in a PSA 10. That's incredible. Like, I can't imagine how it got that high. So, like I said, I would advocate for opening it. I just find it interesting how we've come to this point in the Pokemon community that you are genuinely better off investing in the products than actual stocks that are made by businesses and were intended to be invested, because Pokemon has never been intended to be invested, but they certainly push it with how much they need to be upkeeping on the printing. This Litwick looks really good. It looks very difficult to make. Like, that flame is perfect. But this is what I'm like. I've tried to crochet. The reason why Yukamori is number one to me is because this might be a bit narcissistic, but I feel like I could do clay. Like, if you give me a year, I would be decent at it if I locked in, right? But I have tried crocheting because in sixth form, all my friends were crocheting. I had a crochet club. It's the only one with the fat little sausage fingers. I couldn't do it. And I feel like I could never do what Asako Ito did. Like, I can't do this. Like, if I'm trying to attempt this Litwick, it'd look like a melted, like Litwick is melted. That's what it would look like. So that's why Yuka Komori is number one and Asako Ito is number two, because I'm narcissistic. I mean, like, I've seen my friends crochet, and I know for a fact that doing these leaves, like, this oddish is so cute, and I can't imagine having to do that. That would be difficult as hell. Look at Snorlax from Crown Zenith. That is really, really cute. I love this background on this one. He's sleeping. He's in the forest. He's a big boy. I mean, look at Dunsparce's shape. I know it's like 3 bits, but it's not like an easy shape. You know what I mean? Especially if she does these small, because a lot of people are saying that these are supposed to be tiny, and possibly if you did it big, it'd be easier, but tiny, no. This Esper is adorbs. I love it. Look at this. She's just so derpy. There's no thought behind those eyes. And I feel like this is going to be a really good master set. If you're intimidated by completing a master set, or your favourite Pokemon is Rayquaza or Charizard or Pikachu, any mainstream type of Pokemon where cards are looking at like 80 minimum and you're like, well, I can't afford that. Or you find it difficult to get your hands on actual TCG sealed products at retail because, as we know, it's impossible. Collecting artists is such a good way to go, especially like Yukamori and Asako Ito, because her cards are common, so you're not looking at too much. Even her illustrator cards aren't like breaking the bank. I mean, this whole Dino is saying $15, so definitely something you can invest in, and in my opinion, way better than completing an actual master set from just one set, you know, because you don't really appreciate the art, in my opinion. You're just collecting all the cards. But when you collect a specific artist, you know you like their work, you're really happy to collect all their cards, and you can see their progression and you can see how they tackle different Pokemon and their different shapes, especially when you have unconventional artists like Yukamori and Asako Ito who don't draw. They create them out of clay and crochet and felt, and they make their own backgrounds by hand. Alright, so to prove my point, we're going to go look at now the top 10 most expensive Asako Ito cards. Right, I know it does say the price up there, but I have checked the listings, and the listings shown can be a little outdated, so I'm going to say it how I've seen it. And in number 10 is Azul from Cosmic Eclipse, and this sits at, a common version of this card sits at $10. Bad for a number 10 spot. Very cute card. I think the reason why it can be a bit more pricey is because it's a fairy type, and as we know, Pokemon stopped printed fairy types. All fairy types are now psychic type. In number 9th place is this Snorlax from Crown Zenith. Very cute card, definitely one I want on my, and this one sells for $10.30 in the holo form. Not a bad price if you're starting out on a master set. And you probably have these cards away in your room if you collect Pokemon cards and have done for a while. In number 8, we're back to Azurill from Cosmic Eclipse. This is the reverse holo version, $11.20. Once again, probably because it's a fairy type. In number 7 is Kyukamukiku, I can't say his name, from Unbroken Bonds. In the reverse holo form, this sells for $12.92. Very cute card. He's got little ones in the background. In 6th place, we've got Love Disc from Celestial Storm. Really weird, Celestial Storm. I sound like I've got a list, which I do, but this is in the reverse holo once again. And this one's selling for $14.51. I do like she's used the different textures to kind of make, like, you know, like the white foamy bit of the wave and the little coral pieces. Definitely a cute card. Oh, this is the big boy. Number 5 is Altaria from Crown Zenith. I don't know how this isn't higher, probably because it's modern, but this is an incredible card. The detailing, it definitely deserves to be higher, but I mean, it means you can buy it at a decent price. It sits at number 5 at $16.72. Another dragon type, this is Shelgon from Celestial Storm. Reverse holo, this sells for $18. He does look like a very angry bull, and considering his name is Raging Blade, you probably do not want to look at him. Right, this bad boy, this Giga Chad, is taking up our 3rd and 2nd spot. This is Electrode from Team Up. It sells for $27.40. For it to go in 2nd place in the holo form, it sells for about $30. Fan of Electrode, but I definitely do want this card. It is such a Giga Chad card. Like I said, he reminds me of PC Principal. Now I want you to take a guess. What do you think, out of all of Asako Ito's cards, do you think could be number 1? Ordino from Black Hole. Incredible card, definitely deserves to be in the top spot. It is a stunning card, definitely her best work. This card utilizes backgrounds well and distancing. She makes an incredible job of all of the detailing on this card, to the flowers, to the little wooden bridge, to like mountains in the background. Everything about this card is incredible, definitely deserves to be in the top spot. And I think this goes to show that Asako Ito is capable of doing big hitter cards, you know. Give her an SIR. I think she deserves one. She definitely needs a big boy to showcase how incredible her work can be, because it can be top work. Let's look at some closing thoughts. She utilises backgrounds using felt in such an incredible way to make them stand out even more. All of her work, you can tell she genuinely enjoys it. The Pokemon have such character, talented artist. I mean, if I could do what she did, I would crochet every Pokemon there was. And I do hope once again that we do see more cards from her, because she does deserve it. This is such. Sometimes you see cards from the SIRs from artists who are incredible and definitely way better than me and you, but it's just something about these type of cards where you can tell that they genuinely have to like understand the Pokemon in a different way, because she has to look at it in like a 3D element, because she's crocheting, so it has to be looked at in a different way, which I think gives these artists like Asako Ito and Yukimori a different perspective on the Pokemon. She has to get a greater understanding of it to get all the detail. And you know, like I said, if you want a really cost-effective master set, Asako Ito is your best bet, because once again, these are mainly common cards, so they are in such high print. You're not going to struggle to get your hands on them. If you platforms like Vinted, who do bundles, and a lot of people's jobs, they sell a lot of common cards just because people tend to buy bundles of their favorite artist, or a mum will look on there and be like, oh, my kid loves this Pokemon, I'll just buy all of this type of Pokemon. So you can get them in bundles, and you can get like 20% off, and you can get loads of these cards for probably about, God, like when I bought my Yukimori bundle, I bought 4 of her Asako Ito cards, and it only came to 11 with like 17 cards in total, the rest being Yukimori. So you could probably get a good bundle deal for like £10 to £20, but get a lot of cards. I wouldn't use eBay. eBay looks inflated to me. Vinted is where they're mostly like £1 to £2, and you can get like 50% off each card once you do a bundle. If you liked this video, hit the subscribe button. If you want me to look at more artists, just let me know your favourite artists, and I can go evaluate them. We can talk about their master set ability, look at their most expensive cards, and whether or not I think they're a good artist. So yeah, leave your recommendations down below, watch my other videos, or you die.